I'm sure that you've all seen anatomy pictures, and you've all seen pictures of the skeleton and the spine in particular. If we think of the spine, and if you just visualise what that looks like in your head, you've got those little curves, haven't you? Those subtle curves that run through the spine. So when you're setting up on your mat, or whatever position you are in, you've got to think, that's the position I need my spine to be in. I need to have those nice natural curves in the spine. Now, if I just come up, can you still see me? You can still see me, can't you? Okay. If I try and be as upright as I can be, and trying to sort of get those nice natural curves in my spine now in this position, I should just have a little curve in the lower back and a little curve just coming forwards in the upper body, but you can't really see that one much unless it's on a picture, okay? What can happen sometimes is that we lose this nice postural positioning, and we tend to arch the back a little bit more, or the other thing that can happen is we can become a bit round-shouldered, okay, and we lose that nice positioning. But we've got to try and get back to that nice positioning on the mat. We'll take the example of that arching of the back for a second, okay? So if I was to come down onto the mat now, okay, and if you imagine I've got a problem with my posture where I arch my back and my bum sticks out a little bit, okay? What is going to happen is, as soon as I come down onto the mat, okay, if I was to get my hand now and put it under my waist, it would go all the way through. Now, this is really common. I see this more than anything, okay? The only problem is, if we've got this big arch under the waist there, for one, we're not supported. We're not supporting in our lower back, so we're more likely to injure ourselves. And of course, we're not engaging those deep core abdominal muscles, what we want to do. So what we need to do is we need to find, I always call it a neutral position, and it's those nice curves that I just talked about in your spine. You've got to find that positioning. So what you need to do when you come down onto your mat is just to tilt your pelvis backwards and forwards. So we just do some little pelvic tilts. Can you see? I'm just exaggerating a little bit. I want to make sure that you can see. Okay, so I'm arching my back, and then I'm flattening it, and I'm trying to get rid of any arching altogether. Okay, but I'm not forcing any of the movement. I'm doing it nice and gently. And then what you need to do is you need to find the position where you've just got a little curve under the waist. So if you were to get your hand again and try and get it under, just the tops of my fingers are going under now. So that is about right. Okay, so then I know I've got just a little curve in the lower back. Okay, now the great thing is, once you've found that neutral position, if I was upright again, on my knees again like I was a second ago, you would see that my rib cage was sitting directly over the pelvis. So you've got to imagine that when you're lying on the floor, you want your rib cage in line with your pelvis, or stacked over your pelvis if you were in that upright position. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so just by finding that little curve there, okay. Now what that does, just by finding that neutral position, your core abdominal muscles now have got to start working, because what you're going to do is you're going to maintain that positioning, okay, whatever exercises you're going to do. And today's been those curl-ups, hasn't it? So you're going to maintain that positioning, whatever you do, okay, because in order to stay in that position, it's those deep abdominal muscles that have got to be doing all the work, okay. As soon as you slip out of position and I arch my back again, I know that those muscles aren't working. So instead of thinking about pulling in the tummy muscles a lot, okay, because I could do that even in this position with the back arched a little bit, okay, we're going to bring ourselves back to that neutral position, okay, and we're going to stay in that neutral position. So that's all it is. It's just about positioning. Positioning yourself on the mat, so you just got that little curve, and as long as you focus on maintaining that position, then those deep core abdominal muscles will be working, okay. So whatever exercise we do, the one we did today, I should do a simple curl, shall I? The one with the legs, okay. So we have the hands behind the head on the workout. So for a lot of people, as soon as they put their hands behind the head, that happens again. Can you say I've arched the back again? But I don't want to do that. I want to bring myself back to that neutral position, little curve in the lower back. And then I can go into my exercise. And each time I bring my head down, just checking that I'm back in that neutral position, okay? So it's just a different way of thinking about those core abdominal muscles to see if we can get them working a little bit more, but not making it too hard because there is an awful lot that's going on. It's just a simple way of thinking about it, and it's just your positioning, okay?